Hello, everybody. How we doing? Good to talk to you again. Sorry we missed you last week. There was a lot of big business being conducted. Big business, big construction work going on here in the studio. We got the big TV up on the wall. We're going to try really hard to look at the camera, at least when we're not reading articles, you know. Yeah, putting that big TV up on the wall has been like, it's really caused me to veg out. I've gotten really comfortable. Like the other day I watched...
It seems so much bigger in here for you now, too.
Yes, yeah. We moved the futon.
Some better feng shui.
Yeah, exactly. We need a bonsai tree. Nice bonsai tree, some flute music, incense. But yeah, Saturday I sat around all day because... When did I put it up? Friday I put it up, and I watched 6 episodes of The Sopranos.
I thought you were going to say The Bear.
Pretty much. We didn't get that yet. No. But yeah, that's 6 hours. I realized after the fact, I was like, wow. The only time I got up was to walk across the street to the bodega to get a sandwich that I watched The Sopranos while eating it. And then I decided to leave my house at, whatever time it was, 10 o'clock at night. And I come home, and Sean Strickland is the world middleweight champion. And he outclassed Israel Adesanya.
Fuck that guy.
For a really long time. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty crazy as well. You have a pretty strong stance on Sean. You're not a fan?
Piece of shit. Fucking hate that guy.
Why do you hate Sean so much? I think he's hilarious.
He's a former Nazi.
That is true. I mean...
I think he's still a Nazi. He says former Nazi, but I think he's still a Nazi.
Yeah, he said some questionable stuff. But hey, that's the second time that, at least this year, a white guy named Sean has become champion over a black guy. So it's...
Does Sugar spell it S-E-A-N also?
I think so. Yeah.
Same spelling.
I think they're both Sean.
I'm much more fond of that Sean, though.
Right, most people are. He's got hair. He didn't shave his head. Because, what's his name? Sean used to have long hair, and he used to go by Tarzan, Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
And then for the longest time, he's like, no, I don't want to be that. And I think we know why.
Trying not to look like a neo-Nazi.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. But it is crazy that he did that. And then today, Tuesday it is for us, I got into a bicycle accident. And I ripped off a big fat piece of my finger. Do you think we could... I have a picture of it on my Instagram. Do you think we could pull that up?
Yeah, airdrop it to me.
Okay. Yeah. There's... I was riding... I had this whole plan out because I was going to... I have these 3 pairs of jeans. See, I'm broke. So I have these pairs of jeans that... I'm gonna send it to you through Messenger. It's gonna be easier, I think. And I was gonna go drop them off at the tailor, okay, which I did end up doing after the fact. But a guy snuck up on me with one of them electrical bikes. Look at that fucking thing. I think that's the under nail, like the back part of the nail. That's my middle finger. Look at that. That's pretty bad, guys.
It's very big in this room now, too.
Yeah, right? We're just looking at it up on the big TV. But yeah, I was riding and I had headphones in and I tried to go across the street. And the one time I didn't look, some dude snuck up on me with a big, fast city bike that go way faster than what I'm riding. And they're way heavier and they got a big basket metal bucket thing in the front, and that jammed into both of my fingers. I almost fell over the handlebars. My headphones fell out, and the guy was like, "You good?" And my hand is just dripping red in the street. It's dripping. And, people are just sitting in the businesses. There's like a salon and a fish shop, and they're just like, whoa, look at that. That's what happens around here. People get... I remember like 2 weeks in to living here, I saw some lady just miss a step. The curb was a little higher than the rest of the other ones, and she fucking ate shit right on her face, smashed her shins.
It's a concrete jungle.
Yeah, exactly. But everyone in the area, like, I had to go into the fish market, and I was like, can I get, like, a napkin? So he gave me a napkin, and then I'm like, squeezing it in the middle of the street, more or less. I'm like, and it's not stopping. So then I had to ask for Band-Aids. Those got all bloody. But I didn't, it didn't waver my my motivation to get my jeans fixed. That was the whole reason why I was riding my bike to where I was going anyway. I had to go get my jeans fixed. And then I went to the gym, and it started bleeding through my bandages. So long story short, we're going to see. We're going to see if we need to get the top of the finger taken off. I don't think we will. I think we'll be okay. But it does hurt. I just had ice on it for a little while.
Probably get a little peroxide in there or something.
A little peroxide, yeah. I've been washing it all day. That's the first time in a really long time that I've crashed on a bike, though. It's...
I think you made out pretty well.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a finger?
Just a finger, and just the top of it, really. It's not in the worst.
I think you made out pretty well.
Yeah. I just love the guy's nonchalantness after it. He's like, "You good?" Stuck around for a half a second and just, like, slowly rode off. I'm dripping blood in the street. It could have been worse, right? Could have been worse. But it's a humbling experience already as a grown man using a bicycle to get around. Like, that's pretty much my main mode of transportation is a bike since I got rid of the car. And already, any time I do anything on a bike, I feel like a big retard for the most part. Because when you drive in your car and you have music on or something, it seems like it's normal to just, if you're going to sing, you're singing in the car or whatever. Like, I'll sing on a bike, which is, it's like what a child would do. It's like if a bunch of kids were riding to a creek or something, and we're all going to go swimming or fishing. They ride on their bikes and they sing songs. That's what I do as a 26-year-old person.
You and I have different bike riding experiences.
Yeah, I guess.
On the way to a creek.
Sing
You live in a Disney movie?
Yeah,
something?
pretty much. Yeah, my town is locked in time. No, there were no creeks, actually. I mean, I guess there's a lake, Governor Naughty Lake. Is that what we call it? I don't even remember. Yeah, why? Where did you ride bikes to? The fucking liquor store and bum cigarettes?
Yeah, 7-Elevens. And
No, yeah, that makes more sense. That actually makes more
used
sense.
to hang out at my old elementary school.
Right.
Fuck around and climb on the roof sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Got stuck up there one time, too.
That's interesting. That must be a thing that all... When were you doing that? Like 5th grade, 6th grade?
No.
Older?
Yeah, probably like 8th grade, 9th grade.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember doing that. Not on my elementary school, but in the elementary school in the area that everyone else went to.
Yeah.
Because I had moved there and whatever. But I remember people wanted to go on the roof, and I went on the roof. And
yeah, I wasn't good with heights either, so my friends were like fucking monkeys. They'd get up and down so quick, and then when, if like the cops or someone pulled in, it would take me much longer to get up and down, and then they did. So
right, and they would leave you. They'd leave you for fucking dead.
Yeah. Well, luckily the cop was afraid of heights too, and he didn't want to go up there and chase me.
Right. Yeah, you were able to just run off like a thief in the night. Yeah, a lot of things happen at elementary schools with older kids. Like I remember a kid at that same elementary school when we were in middle school. He got blown by some girl that was our age at the time.
You paused your sentence. I didn't know if you're gonna say by a girl or blown to pieces.
Yeah. He got fucking slaughtered.
Could have been anything.
Kid got blown there. I remember one time I was hanging out there, just sitting around, because that's when you do when you're a kid and you don't do drugs yet. You just sit around places, and these two girls walked by, and they were both high, and I didn't know anything about smoking weed yet. And one of them was like, she said something to me, and I was like, what? What are you talking about? They were older than me. And the other one goes, yeah, my boyfriend has a gun and he'll shoot you. I was like, oh, all right. We need to get married. This is, I see why guys chase these girls. Yeah, that was early on. That's what happened at the elementary school in the area. I guess you're right. I never really did ride my bike to a creek or a watering hole.
I probably would have had to ride my bike, like, over 100 miles to find a creek.
To find a creek, yeah.
I don't even... No, I'm sure there's creeks, but I don't know.
None that are worth going to, I guess, by bike. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and then, you know, the last time I probably got hurt on a bike was around those days, you know? Because I've been riding the bike for a while, not as a mode of transportation until I moved here. I would just ride on a path, so then you could convince yourself, oh, this is exercise. I'm not a bum. This is a pastime, you know? It's almost like... And I do like doing that, too. But I think I might start wearing a helmet. I have a helmet. I never even look at it. But a helmet might be a good idea going forward, because for the rest of the day I was riding...
Fingerless gloves.
Fingerless gloves, yeah. I'll be fingerless. But for the rest of the day, when I was riding around everywhere else, I was very timid. I was very nervous. I didn't want to get cracked by a vehicle. And I have the tendency to not pay attention and go all over the road. So we'll keep this this theme of my bicycle escapades a part of the show, because there's definitely more in the vault somewhere. You know, and when a grown man is riding a bike around, there's plenty that has to be addressed. Now, it is football season, which for me is just another reason to be upset and not allow people to enjoy something like that. Every year I like to pay an homage to football, because I actually really used to like it for a really long time. And I will watch it, you know, like I'll watch it if it's on. But it's not really, it's not on my radar of things to do is watch football. And I also don't have a fantasy team, and I did for a really long time. And I feel like if you have a fantasy team, you'll watch the games a little bit more.
Like if you're like me and you're a Jet fan, you have to have a fantasy team because...
Your real team is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Of course.
There's nothing else to root for.
Aaron Rodgers, he's going to have to call up Joe Rogan and ask him what he should do next. What did he fucked his Achilles,
Stem cells,
right?
TRT.
Mushrooms, ivermectin. Don't wear a mask. Don't wear a mask, Joe, George, Jorge. What the fuck's his name, Aaron?
Aaron. You just said it 10 seconds ago.
Aaron Rodgers. It's all the accumulated years of getting hit in the head, man. I haven't gotten hit in the head in a while, but yeah, it makes you forget things that you just said. Kind of like what happens in football.
Especially football.
Especially football. That's why it's so interesting to me, because it's almost a guarantee that you're going to have CTE, probably more so than fighting sports, if I had to guess.
Yeah, well, I think boxing's definitely the worst.
Boxing's, well, yeah, because you get concussed and they give you
so many shots that you take.
Yeah, and the gloves are so heavy.
Yeah, it's more concussive force.
Mm-hmm. But football is like, it's one of the craziest things that we like to watch, I think, because it is a game, just like all sports are. Or most of them. It is a game, but it's a game that's best played by the superhuman athletes. Like, basketball, you can kind of stomach watching college basketball or even high school basketball, because the physicality isn't as much of an aspect. But when you watch football at the highest level, it's like, it's kind of obscene. There's like, it's a war zone. It's 11 on 11, and the plays are so short, and it's just, you follow these guys on social media and you watch their Instagram, and it's always some crazy training regimen. Every year they're figuring out new ways to collide with each other even faster. And I guess the equipment is catching up, but at the same time, it's like, I remember there was a study to see who hits harder, rugby players or football players, and it's football players because they have the illusion that they're protected with the gear.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely crazy because we watch really young people our able, younger, doing way more with their lives, with way more money, and they are playing a game, and they're giving themselves brain damage. I mean, I guess that's what they're getting paid for, is the brain damage part. That is the most entertaining.
For the love of the game.
It's the love of the game, right? And the game's not like it used to be. You know, these players now, they got all kind of padding, if you will, right? Helmets are much better. The rules of the game are much safer, especially if you're a quarterback. Speaking of quarterbacks, Tom Brady just fucking had his retirement thing at the opener at New England. And as a person who grew up as a Patriots fan, Tom Brady and the whole thing, the people there probably were in a state of evangelical shock, if that makes sense, to finally see Jesus Christ himself. Like, I'm from that area, and you're from here. And even though you're a Jets fan, you still know about how the Giants fucked the Patriots twice, one time ruining a perfect season. But being from that area is, to talk about Tom Brady at all, there's a reason why he's the best. There's a reason why he's the best, and it's not because he takes mushrooms. It's not because he hangs out with Joe Rogan. It's not because he hates his family, but he does hate his family. Don't forget that. I hear Aaron Rodgers hates his family too, but not enough. He doesn't hate his family enough to get divorced. Great. Exactly.
Like Michael Jordan probably hates his family.
Hates his family. They're just in the way.
Yep.
They're in the way of the ball bouncing or throwing, getting it in the right spot at the right time. If Tom Brady didn't get divorced, he probably had a few more seasons in him. Like, if he didn't have to go through the divorce last season, he probably could have stayed.
I think some of it was that FTX drama, too.
Right. That was a big deal as well.
Probably took a couple of years off of him.
That's another thing. I mean, that's pretty gangster. The fact that he was in on a nice big cryptocurrency scandal and came off it scot-free. He even wins in that realm. He's just, he's the king for a reason. He hates his family more than any other player ever has in any sport, I would think. Kobe's probably close.
Chris Benoit.
How could I forget? Right. Chris Benoit.
It's him and then Tom Brady.
It's him and then Tom Brady, right. And then I would probably say Kobe. He probably hates his family, mainly because he was on his way to a game for his daughter, and he died. I mean, that I'd hate my family if someone in your family was like, hey, we got to go on a plane to Nashville because I'm doing this there. You got to come, and then you guys crash.
You hate them.
You hate them. You hate them. Whatever your last thoughts of them while you guys are still alive is like, God damn it, why, Aunt Ruth, why are we following you to Nashville? We're going down in a plane.
What was Benoit's excuse?
He, I don't know. I don't know if he
wanted to kill himself but didn't want to have the guilt of it.
I guess. Yeah, I guess so. He
just wanted to kill himself so bad.
Himself and his family. Yeah. I guess he's okay, so he might not be the greatest in his sport, but he's definitely the greatest when it comes to hating his family.
For sure.
Which
I can't think of a close second.
not even close. There's nobody else. Yeah. The only thing is, the reason why I would put Tom Brady at number 2 and not at number 3, because he's still alive. He's got longevity. He's got a long time to hate his family. He can keep hating his family.
But the fact that he's alive, does that mean he hates his family less? Like, did Kobe hate his family more because he's not alive?
Maybe. Well, I'm thinking I want to add the 2 periods of time. Maybe Kobe is number 2 then, because if we add the period of time while Kobe was active, trying to be the best, he hated his family.
Michael Jordan got his dad killed. He hates his family.
That's a good one. I didn't know that. That is a good one. Michael Jordan got his dad killed. Was it a gambling thing?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
right.
they presume so, because both of them big gambling addicts. And then they found his father dead in a car on the side of the road.
Interesting.
He'd been shot.
Jesus. Well, that probably had nothing to do with the mafia.
And another three-peat from the old 23 after that.
Right. He just shook it off. He was just cold-blooded like a motherfucker.
People who hate their family do.
Tiger Woods.
Hates his
Probably
family.
not a big fan.
At least his wife.
At least his wife. That's why he's a little lower, because we don't know about his kid. They play golf a little bit together.
Yeah.
He might not, That's pretty good. What's that? That's 4?
Yeah, I think we got the Mount Rushmore of hating your family.
Athletes who hate their family. No, that's 5. We got 5 of them. Chris Benoit,
Oh, yeah.
Kobe, Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, and what was the other one?
Jordan.
There we go. Jordan, then Tiger Woods. There we go. All right.
Great athletes.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, an honorable mention could be Floyd for a moment. He actually hated his dad so much
Does
so.
he have kids? He doesn't have kids, does he?
Floyd?
Yeah. Or does he
yeah.
have, like,
He does.
from, like, baby mamas, or is he married?
He was with a woman for a really long time, and I think they had some kids together, and she died like a few years ago in a car accident or something. Maybe not a car
So
accident,
he
but
hates
she
his
died.
family.
Yeah. Well, he used to hit her.
Okay.
I know he used to hit. He had problems with hitting women. One of his daughters has a baby by NBA YoungBoy. Not great. Might hate her a little bit. Honorable mention. This is the first time he's not the best at at whatever he's doing. So really the blueprint is if you want to be a successful athlete, you got to hate your family. You have to put all other obligations aside and actively hate them. You have to actively hate them.
Not true. Chris Benoit is not still actively hating his family.
Well, I mean, throughout his life is what I mean.
Yeah,
Throughout the life, you got to
yeah.
actively hate him.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. In the name of greatness. And that's why Aaron Rodgers is out and the Jets season is over. Because if he hated his family enough, he'd grit his teeth, he'd get cortisone shots, he'd be out there. What is it? His Achilles, I heard?
Yeah, fully ruptured.
Oh, God, dude. That's the worst. How old is he? 37?
No, he'll be 40 in a few weeks. So his career's over.
He's pretty much done, huh?
There's some videos of it on the Twitter sphere of the full rupture. I could probably find it.
Like it shows what in the game?
Yeah, like slow motion freeze framed of the actual. I don't know, I'm not even signed in, but
Damn. Well, that's the game you play. God damn it! That the Achilles is a bad one too. That's they gotta like pull that down and staple it. That's bad. I mean, what are you going to do? There's people in some country whose name you can't pronounce. Those kids are getting blown up. There's worse things. Oh, there's no video, huh? That's probably horrendous. Gruesome video. I love when an article starts with that. Gruesome. That's a good word. That's a horror movie word. Okay, here we go.
let me get it for the people.
So what was this? He went like 0-3 And then on the last play, or 0-2 or some shit, and on the last play, he just fucking went on a sack. Let's see.
You see it.
Oh.
Yeah, you see the vibration of it.
God almighty. Hey, that's what you get. But you know what's not going to happen to him?
Ooh.
You want to know what's not going to happen to him? He's not going to have a heart attack because he didn't take the vaccine. He's not going to have cardiac arrest, even though he's an old man. He didn't take the vaccine, so his heart's going to be okay. We don't have to worry about that. A ruptured Achilles is one thing. You can fix it, more or less. He might not play again, but the heart, you don't play with the heart. He did the right thing still. So, nonetheless, seems like a cool guy. I don't know if anyone else in the NFL is as cool as him right now in terms of like cool guyness. Who else could there be? I'm not sure.
Joe Burrow.
Okay, there's another good one. Joe Burrow, because he smokes cigars.
Yeah.
He smokes cigars. Cool. I don't know. I guess I was going to say Pat Mahomes. It's all quarterbacks. There's no star. There's no maybe Tyreek Hill, because he talks about.
I love a really good name in the NFL. And there's this guy from the Baltimore Ravens. I forgot what his name was. I got to look it up. But he has one of the best fucking football names ever.
Clinton Dix. I remember that.
That's one of the good ones.
That's a good one. What was the big dude who played for Green Bay? I forget his
Rajah Davis.
Is that who it is?
That's the only one I'm thinking of.
DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Don't forget about DeBrickashaw Ferguson. He used to play for the Jets, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And his fake charities.
That's a thing?
Yeah,
he had fake charities? Wow. You see that? See, the good thing about the NFL is you can hit people in and out of the game, and you still get paid very well. They don't seem to discriminate.
He's a cornerback. His name is Rock, R-O-C-K. Last name, Yassin.
Rock Yassin. That sounds
good.
like a early hip-hop group. Rock Yassin.
That's a pretty good name.
That is a good name. What team? Oh, he plays for the Ravens.
Yeah, he's on the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. That is nice. And, I mean, we don't have to bring up the fact that the NFL very much resembles slavery. This is something I've thought about for a long time. And this is going to be a little risque, but I've always wanted to communicate this to people. And we're going to see if we keep this in. But, okay. So let's think about it, right? Where do most of the best football players, what schools do they go to? Where are they located in the United States?
Alabama.
All right. Louisiana.
Florida.
Right, LSU.
LSU. Yeah, sure.
Texas. Ohio, that is true. Midwest is another one.
If you got to go by position too, because then if you go there's like those star receivers. Obviously, they're going to be from Alabama or whatever, and then you got your quarterbacks. They're going to be from more of the red states, I'm trying to think of an exact
quarterbacks. You're saying, yeah, because they're all white.
Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, that we both mentioned, California,
right?
Northern California to be specific. And then you got your offensive linemen are going to be from Iowa.
Because they're big boys, big
those
burly
are your
boys.
farmer boys.
Right.
And you got the crazy defensive white middle linebacker from Texas.
Sure. Right. I get what you're saying. But the South predominantly, right? A lot of that area, and I agree with what you're saying, but a lot of that area, a lot of those states, fucking, that's where they get scouted at. Big schools, a lot of those big schools out there. And then they all go to a big event known as the Combine, where they all showcase their skills, which makes sense, of course. You have to do that. You're going to pay them a lot of money. Showcase all their skills, and then all the owners and staff and faculty of the team shows up and decides we want that one. And then on a day everyone shows up, you get your name called and brought on a stage. And now you belong to this team. And the white guy that owns the team has, even though you're getting paid life-changing, crazy money, has infinitely more money than you do, as well as the guy who runs the whole fucking NFL, Goodell himself, and the board of directors and everybody else there. They run it. And not to mention, most NFL players are black. Let's not forget. And thank God, really thank God. Because if not, Jesus, how boring would football be?
Yeah, it would look like soccer.
Oh, God, it would look terrible. Sports anything before black people. Music, comedy, thank God. I mean, the means that they're here, is bad. We won't forget about that, but thank God for it, Anyway, football, yeah, I've always thought about that. And now that you guys, let me know what you think about that comparison, because nobody's ever agreed with me. Nobody I've brought.
I heard you
up
out.
to.
I was open-minded.
No one I've ever brought that up to was like, yeah. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course. This is a comedy podcast. Anyway, for the next so many months, I look forward to hearing about, Dak Prescott and whoever else. And what?
Mississippi.
What about Mississippi?
That's where he's from.
Oh, okay. That's kind of the South, right? That's the South, Mississippi.
Just trying to help you prove your point a little bit.
Yeah, right. And everyone in my group chat has fantasy league. They have multiple fantasy leagues, and a lot of them are in them together. And so I'll be hearing about that very often. I'm super excited to be on every, everything is football. I don't know if there's any other sport that does it like football does it when it comes to fanatics. For the period of time that football is on, even the month, once August hits, people are like, whoa, preseason is in a couple weeks. And then preseason to the Super Bowl, I mean...
Yeah, I liked it when it was only really Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Like college Saturday, NFL Sunday, and then Monday night. One game Sunday night, one game Monday night. The slate, the 1 o'clocks, the 4 o'clocks on Sunday, and then, your college games on Saturday. The Thursday night can get the fuck out of here.
When did Thursday night even come up anyway?
It's probably
I feel like it's
gotta
always
be close
been.
to 10 years.
Interesting. Because for whatever reason, I guess I never thought back to it. I feel like there's always been Thursday night football, which is not true. I mean, it's...
it's probably it used to only be Thanksgiving, which was cool.
Right.
Because that's a tradition. You're home Thursday night after your turkey or whatever.
Right.
But the Thursday night games usually suck. And I feel like it's just that extra day, kind of fucks it all up.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. They got football in other countries now. It used to only be America. They'll play football in London. Haven't they gone to Mexico?
Yeah.
They've gone to Mexico. It really is a spectacle. It's a spectacle that people pay for in memories. They pay for in ability to move freely, unless you're a quarterback. And they get, again, back to the original point, quarterbacks, the white guys, they get protected. All right, we're going to move on. Yeah, what do we got next? What do we got next on the agenda? I think I'm good on football. We look forward to hearing more about it as time goes on. I don't know. Pick one. Fuck it. Burning Man. Let's do Burning Man. Burning Man. We're a little late on the Burning Man train. I did want to mention this because I thought this was a fun article. I like the way the author went with this. Burning Man, of course, is a massive music festival in Nevada. It's a bunch of rich people there, tech bros. They all do drugs. And this past year, they got rained out, and they were stuck there in the mud and all this shit, and it was a big problem. But this person who wrote this article, whoever it may be, was very upset. What is their name? Post Editorial Board. Okay.
So
it's a group, yeah. They all decided that this is bullshit because all these rich kids left their garbage here. They all left their garbage. Are you kidding me? Rich kids pillaging and ruining shit? Back to pillaging.
It's a good word.
Yeah. So the heavy rains that shut down this year's Burning Man Festival have prompted another disaster. Scrutiny of all the fetid trash burners leave in their wake, and not just on site. Turns out that even in a normal year, the injunction to leave no trace, which is what they try to do, I guess, prompts attendees to dump filth by the road on their way out, while organizers still spend weeks scrubbing the site in Nevada's Black Rock Desert. And this year's downpour prompted a much messier exodus. People may finally figure out that Burning Man's vaunted bohemian culture of community and self-expression with a supposed commitment to radical inclusion, diversity, and equity is actually a cover for extreme privilege. The festival's own survey last year revealed that the average burner is a college-educated 37-year-old straight white male who votes Democratic and made over $100,000 in 2021. Now, that's how you know that this article isn't an advertisement, because who the fuck wants to be a part of that? I mean, I guess supposedly this event is where all these rich kids go to devise ways to take over the world. That's kind of what they do there. They're like, okay, the baby sacrifice is next week in Arizona, so we got to get there. This is kind of what they do. They sit around and they're like, how can we use our college education as well as our money and our resources and our age and all this stuff, how can we shape what happens next? When they're doing that, they don't have time to clean up after themselves. They're not even thinking about that. You're going to be cleaning up after them forever and ever, just like we have been forever and ever. They are the ones who make far worse messes than this. Believe you me. This is just some camping equipment, maybe some empty cocaine and Molly bags. You know, I mean, it is a bit of a mess, right? It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, but listen, these guys just figured out a way to teleport. They just figured out a way to teleport. They took drugs, they sat around here, and they figured out a way to teleport, and that's why they're not going to go back and clean that up. They're not going to go back and clean it up. There's no reason to. They are some of our society's most revered people. That's the thing. Everyone wants to be worth $100,000, have a college degree,
They abandon vehicles?
Exactly. These people are rich. They're rich. They don't give a fuck. They probably got the thing and just so. I like this last sentence, though. This is nice. Consider this a true picture of what progressive ideals really entail. Privileged pigs leaving the little people holding the bag. Yes. Only progressives, though. Only that's not conservatives. Don't do that. A conservative, if they voted Republican, they would have cleaned this up because they have morals. They have morals. Ones like not allowing women safe abortions, but they won't leave the desert filthy. They won't leave the desert filthy. If they had conservative backgrounds. Yeah, no, I don't know. I thought this was an interesting article because it does highlight. I mean, that's what Burning Man has been for quite some time. It's like its small own ecosystem. I don't know how you get in. I think it's like
to play devil's advocate. Wasn't there like flooding and stuff, and a lot of people had to like exit and like emergency?
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
I would have left fucking blankets. They're just fucking blankets.
I agree with you, especially when you're worth all that money. You don't want to get
fuck the blankets.
You don't want to get caught There were 70,000 people that had to leave.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing got rained out. You know, I mean, how do you think they feel? You think they want to clean up blankets? They all just traveled. I think it said that the tickets range from like over $500 to over $2,000. Yeah, $575 to $2,750. That is a lot. That's a lot. And 70,000 people paid the average, whatever the middle of that is, $1,700 or something. And you know, they just get fucked. They get left out in the desert, and they're rich. This was supposed to be a
Vehicles is crazy though.
The vehicles is nuts. I mean, that RV, is that somebody's? Give that to the
Like
homeless.
everything in this image that's what's left behind.
Imagine. This definitely, like the pillows and whatever. But aren't they supposed to be hippies? Aren't they supposed to, you know, there's a...
This is what people have been doing for hundreds of years. You could still follow the trail that Lewis and Clark took,
Right.
just by finding their little makeshift toilets.
That's right. There you go. And this, now we can see...
This is actually more humane, if you say.
Sure, because you're not shitting in the wood. Maybe they were shitting in the desert, which isn't as bad because there's no water around. You don't want to shit in the woods because it gets in the water, because later, if you're out in the woods and you're camping, you got to drink that water, maybe, you know?
That's how Pocahontas got hooked on the white man.
Ah, wait. Wow, what do you mean? She drank
the
shit
white
water?
Shit water.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's, I mean, what else goes on in this desert? It's like this is probably the best thing. 70,000, you know, wealthy, not middle-aged men yet, right? They're 37. This is, you know, what it says. And this is where they figure out how they're going to fucking sacrifice to the Lord Baphomet. This is what they do. And then they burn a big thing. Isn't it weird that they kind of just burn an effigy in the middle of the desert? Nobody cares. How come this isn't a cult? Nobody talks about this as a cult. Why? Because they get music? Because they have money? A cult can have money, you know.
We should go next year.
Yeah. You have to be a burner, though. I don't know what it takes. Can we look up how to become a burner? Is there like
Is that a thing?
I think it's a thing.
Can I type that?
I think so.
Okay.
How to become a burner for Burning Man? It might only be you just have to buy tickets. I don't know. I'm under the impression that it's like a Freemason type deal. You don't tell people. I knew a kid that was a Freemason. He's been on the podcast a couple times. He would never tell me. First Timer's Guide to Burning Man. Can we look at that one? Or we can look at this one. Let's look at the 15 steps to plan. You might not have to be a burner.
First impressions looks pretty cool.
Okay. They light that on fire. That's like the whole thing.
Yeah. Looks sick though. We should go.
How to prepare. 70,000 people attend. That was last year. Let's get to the steps. I want to see the steps. I don't care about what they stand for. I want to see, what do we got to do? Get your Burning Man ticket.
That's a stupid first step.
That's a dumb step. Read the rules. What are the rules? Are there rules? Do they have some sample rules? Drinking and driving are both illegal and extremely dangerous. Plan on staying sober for the drive. How do they know? They don't know. How are you going to tell us? Okay, so there's going to be policemen and they're going to get your illegal drugs? That doesn't sound good. You go to a festival to have illegal drugs. No animals. You can't bring animals. You're out in the desert. No explosives. I mean, they're starting to turn me off a little bit here. ATVs and motorcycles. Okay, you can't ride them around unless you have pre-registered it as a mutant. Okay, so there's ways around it. Study the 10 principles of Burning Man. See,
now we're onto something.
This is where it gets weird, right? Radical inclusion.
Whatever that means.
Gifting.
Whatever that means.
I guess you got to come there with gifts. Maybe decommodification.
What is that word?
Something that none of the people that go to that believe in. It's okay. So you know how everything has a price that's commodifying things. It's like now we don't attach value to it, right? Let's see what this is. Decommodification. Burning Man was one of the things that came up. Let's see definition. Because we just found out they're all wealthy as hell. To turn into, so that's a commodity.
Yeah, that's the commodify.
So to do the opposite of that. A political economy, conversation, market dependency. What does it say? It regards with commodification as a transformation, commodities or objects. Decommodification would be the extent that workers can leave their labor market through choice. Okay. Yeah, so that's one of the rules, okay? Anything that you valued, not anymore, at least for this 10-day festival or however long it is. Radical self-reliance, radical self-expression, communal effort, really, from the really wealthy guys that are able to come out here. Civic responsibility, leaving no trace, which is what they were making fun of in the article. Participation and immediacy. That's a principle? Right now, you need it. That's probably why they all do drugs.
This is weird.
Immediate, right? Now it's getting weird.
Still want to go, though.
Decide how long you want to attend Burning Man. Now, how long can
This
you?
is the worst article we've ever read.
We got to figure this out, though, if we're going to go. We went for a week. Okay, so you can go for a really long time.
I feel like this is written by, like, you ever heard Brian Regan's bit about the Pop-Tarts and the instructions on them?
No, I don't think so.
The first instruction on a Pop-Tart, there's instructions on Pop-Tart packaging.
Okay.
And the first instruction is remove pastry from pouch.
That's fair. That's like why this one started with buy ticket.
Yeah. and then there was like toaster instructions. There was microwave instructions. It's a good bit.
Right.
But that's what I feel like this is written.
This is just
like
extra stuff.
Too specific.
Right.
Like buy a ticket. Duh.
Well, the rules are what's weird because it doesn't coincide with the clientele that go. Can we see a few more, or the principals, I should say? Can we see a few more? That's dumb. Request time off work. Skip that. That's fucking stupid. Some bitch out in a fucking... decide whether to join the camp. Okay, so there's a bunch of camps already built there that you can go.
That's fucking cool.
That's pretty cool. Does that burn down too? This is just like a city in the desert with music.
Kindling.
Interesting. So you can live with these people. Okay, because you need to be communal. That's part of the principles.
Most important decision is your camp.
Interesting. You got to know where you're going to camp out here while you're doing this. All right,
playing Minecraft or something.
Let's see what the next ones are. You can do yoga. Fantastic. Burning Man theme. Okay, so there's themes. Disadvantages. What else? Grocery shop. You can go grocery shopping. Yeah, you pay all that money to work. $2,700. You're going to go out in the desert and work. You can go to holes. Figure out how you're getting out of Burning Man.
But if the work is weaving that thing in the middle of the desert, it might be pretty kind of cool.
Yeah, just for you to burn it down. I mean, I suppose.
Figure out how you're getting there.
How you're leaving.
What is she wearing?
A lion leotard. A leontard. How about that?
She is a tard.
Let's see. Oh, we went way too far up. We've gone awry here. Fuck Burning Man. We're not going.
I was trying to zoom in on her outfit.
Oh no. Yeah, there we go. It's a lion on a thing.
Blocking them from her.
Anyway, we don't have enough money for this. You can sleep at a yurt. I mean, this sounds like you're paying money to go backwards. It's like a little hut you make, but it's futuristic. How are they? I mean, this is like Mad Max. That's what this looks like. This looks like a bunch of rich people who I'm more and more we learn about this. I'm agreeing with the people who made this article that we started with the New York Post. Yeah, this is strange plan for dust storms. You're going back evolutionarily if you decide to do this.
packing list.
Yeah, and then you burn it all down. You know, it'd be good if you guys got inside these structures and then burnt them all down. Double check everything is the last. Get this nonsense off my screen. Fuck that idea. Burning Man. It's getting dark in here, huh? Let's turn the light on. Yeah.
There we go.
Fuck Burning Man. Fuck Burning Man. But since we're in the topic of burning things, my old stomping grounds, guys, anytime New London comes up in something, I feel like I need to talk about it because there was a special time. For those of you that listened to the show while I was there, it was a very weird time for the show. It was a weird time in my life. And I feel like anytime something happens in New London, I want to talk about it. The last time we spoke about it, there was a big explosion on the Victory Highway or whatever the fuck they call it over there. And now in their city or in the town, I don't know why they call it a city in this. It's so small. Supposedly, Benedict Arnold, who I don't even know who he is, all I know is that one of the best meals you can get for breakfast is named after him. And I usually elect to get, if I'm out for breakfast, I usually go for a Benedict. I feel like that's a good go-to.
I think he was he betrayed the Union Army in the Civil War.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense because these people in this article in New London, they decided to...
it says traitor.
It says traitor, exactly. So they got this wooden effigy of Benedict Arnold, and right down the street from where I used to live. I used to live right where these people are standing, right in the area. They are lighting it on fire, and they are shooting blanks into the sky with old weapons. This is what people in New London do because there's nothing else. There's nothing else. You can drink, or you can do this. You can start a fire. You can do arson from something that happened a really long time ago. Now, I do think it's the Revolutionary War. See, now the burning of Arnold marks the anniversary of the day in September 1781 that the Connecticut native led British troops into the city and burned down most of it to the ground. Okay, good. I wish someone would do that again. I mean, not that long ago, there was a big fire. You'd think they'd be a little apprehensive about starting another one so close, you know? It would be nice if someone from wherever put the whole state on fire, the whole state of Connecticut. Now, let's see, a crowd of several hundred revelers, some in period costume, marched through the city streets Saturday evening chanting, "Burn the traitor," before watching as officials set Arnold's effigy ablaze for the burning of Benedict Arnold's festival, recreating a tradition that was once practiced in many American cities.
I just found our Burning Man theme.
That's right.
We're going to be angry Connecticutans.
And we're going to...
Connecticutites.
I don't know what you would call them. Connecticutians. Either way, we could bring our own Benedict Arnold like these people did.
Yeah, and go way over the top in like the Revolutionary War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this you want to know what would be happening if I was there right now? I would be coming home from work on Saturday night, and I'd probably be angry because I had no friends in Connecticut, so I would be angrily going home, getting ready to drink at some dive bar that I lived across the street from, and be in a rush to go do that. So, and I'd pull up, and there'd be people screaming in the streets, and I'd probably pull a GTA moment and just like Bill Burr's bit, where he's like, people, yeah, exactly. I can just move my left hand 2 inches to the right, and everyone knows my name. Yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense for the people there in New London. I know I've spoke about you guys have gotten your fill from the time I was there, but I love going back. Now, there's some more about this that I wanted to read because now look at this. I like to jokingly refer to it as the original Burning Man Festival. That's literally what it says at the top. Residents still wanted to celebrate Guy Fawkes Day, but they weren't English, so they created a very unique version, Wood said. Scroll down. There was something specific I wanted to see. People chanting USA. This is what I want. This is it. Yeah, there we go. Ellen Warfield of Mystic, okay, that's right next door, brought her 9-year-old son Lucian bass because she said their ancestors fought in the Revolution and she hoped to get her son excited about the history that surrounds him. It's wild to show the kids something like this, she said. You get to see it in real life rather than play out on a screen, TV. They spend too much time. Lucian had a singular focus. I can't wait to see them burn that man. He said, burn that turncoat.
What?
This is a 9-year-old kid. This is what happens in Connecticut. That's a 9-year-old kid who...
Why you mad, bro?
Who wants to see them burn a man alive. That's a hardened kid. If that kid was around in those days, they would put him to the front of the line. Can we scroll down a little bit more? Now, let's see. I thought there was... Okay, so this is all the history. I don't really care much about the history of Connecticut, really at all. Because even though it does have rich history and crazy things happened and Benedict Arnold did this, what's accumulated out of it are casinos. That's it. That's all Connecticut is. Casinos. It's got the WWE, which is a big deal. Really, really far. It's in Stamford. It's almost next to... it's as close to New York as you can get while still being in Connecticut. Because the rest of the state is, I'm not the only one that says it. It's a highway. It's garbage. And these are the results. This is what you get from people who live in a place, especially New London, right? If you're rich, Connecticut's a good place, right? Because it's...
Yeah, you go to, like, Greenwich.
You go to Greenwich. There's nice places. You
Bridgeport.
Bridgeport's a dump.
Is
Who
it?
told you Bridgeport's nice? Somebody said that to you? Maybe the rest of it is. I don't know. Downtown Bridgeport's a dump.
They have some, like, expensive real estate over there.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Forget what I said. The downtown of it is bad.
Manhattan is expensive real estate, too, and it's kind of a dump.
And it's a dump. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I guess the things aren't mutually exclusive, right? Hong Kong.
Two things can be true.
Yeah, sure. But it's nice. It's nice that New London is making some kind of news here. It's a good thing. I just feel like, nothing fun like this happened when I was there. Nobody burning things in the street. No tankers exploding on the highway and blowing up. It was always just the same old bums. I remember this one time I would go to the corner store pretty often, and it was the daytime, and I went, and this guy comes up to me and asks me for money. So do you spare any change? I'm like, no, I can't. Sorry. And I drive back to my place, which wasn't very far, and I'm sitting outside, and I'm smoking a cigarette, and it's cold out, and the same guy comes up to me, exact same dude, and he's like, hey, man, can I get a cigarette? And I'm like, sure. And I gave him the cigarette, and then he started walking away, and I'm like, sorry, man, I ain't got no cash for you, though. And he looks at me, and he's like, man, I ain't looking for no money. I'll kill a motherfucker. He asked me for $1 right now. So, yeah, that's what was going on when I was there. Nobody, at least people were getting behind it. They were, people were animated. That doesn't happen very much in that place. How much time we got? Are we almost done? I feel like we're almost done.
We're at 59 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh, that's good.
Do you want to show that Twitter video real quick?
Yeah, let's do it. I like this. I think we should end this episode. We should end this broadcast with positivity because I like what this guy says, and I want to know a little bit more about him. Let's get it up on the big screen for everyone to see. This is Tim Gurner, founder and CEO of Gurner Group. at some big summit, some big event.
I think the problem that we've had is that we have people decided they didn't really want to work so much anymore through COVID, and that has had a massive issue on productivity.
Yes.
Ladies have definitely pulled back on productivity. They have been paid a lot to do not too much in the last few years, and we need to see that change. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50%, in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around.
Yeah.
There's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment to get that to some sort of normality. And we're seeing it. I think every employer now is seeing it. I mean, there is definitely massive layoffs going off. People might not be talking about it, but people are definitely laying people off, and we're starting to see less arrogance in the employment market, and that has to continue because that will cascade across the cost balance.
That's right. That's right. See,
Why do I feel so seen?
This guy, he's got it right. I've always said this. If you want to revive the economy, you need shrewd businessmen. This man knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. He's saying something that we've all been thinking. We've gotten lazy. Once COVID hit, it gave everyone an excuse to be lazy. We all think we have value now. You got no value. Don't forget, we got to kill that attitude. That's what he said. We don't want it to cascade and fuck costs up. That's why things are so expensive. That's why things are so expensive. You go to McDonald's, you spend $20 on a Big Mac meal. Why? Because you don't want to work. You don't want to go to work. You don't want to go to work. That's what it is. That's why inflation is fucked. That's what it is. We need unemployment to go higher so that we can really be scared, so that we can show to these peons, to these small, insignificant forms of human life, wastes of flesh and bone, they have to understand that the employer is who they work for, not the other way around. You're lucky to be able to go to a place for 40, 50 hours a week and do everything to make them tons and tons and tons of money so that you can watch a movie. So that you can watch a movie, you can eat a snack, you can listen to a song, you can go to a concert, you can go to Burning Man. If you want to be able to go to Burning Man, you got to go to work. We need unemployment to jump. And that's, according to this guy, that's what the whole world wants as well. We need to jumpstart this economy by making sure people are unemployed. That's what we need. We need to whip them back into shape and let them know. We can't, we with COVID, we let the prisoners run the jail, and that has to stop. We're not going to do that anymore. And thanks to this guy, what's his name? Tim Gurner for getting it out, saying the thing. He's kind of like Oliver Anthony, right, in the opposite direction. The guy, Rich Man North of Richmond, he was saying the thing that everybody's thinking, but in favor of the people. And this guy is saying it in favor of the machine. And the machine is what's going to get us out. And there's no Bert Kreischer. This is serious. The machine, the fucking, people, the productivity's been down, and that's all that needs to be known. And whatever has to be done, including increasing unemployment by much, much more. If you want to live comfortably, then we need to be shocked. We need to know that we need to get to work, and it's on us, motherfuckers. And with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. So long, and positive vibes until next week. Peace.